Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. So the video today is on a 2008 Lexus IS220 diesel, and let me see if I explain you the problem with this car. So apparently the car was absolutely fine. Well, not absolutely fine, but the car was driving fine, everything was working on the car. However, the car was draining the battery. So what was told was that you would start the car, usually with a jump pack. You'd start the car would start fine. It would start fine within the next few attempts if you'd carry on. If you'd leave the car for a few hours, the battery would go flat. Apparently not completely flat, but the battery would go down enough for the car not to start from the key anymore, and you would have to jump the car again or with a jump pack to get the engine running again. Other than that, the car was absolutely fine. So someone, that was not me, someone replaced the alternator. So that's the alternator. That was replaced by someone else. I don't know who did that, but someone did. And apparently after replacing the alternator, something happened in there that the car now doesn't start. Central locking doesn't work. Apparently power steering doesn't work. There's loads of issues with the car. However, this is the first time I'm working on the car since the car was dropped. The car ended up by not starting because due to the lack of central locking, they couldn't open the fuel cap. However, you can use the mechanical key to open the boot, and then on the left hand side of the boot, if you move the liner, there is a tab in there that you can pull to open the fuel cap. But they were not aware of that, so they let the car to completely run out of fuel. The car has been now filled with 5 or 10 liters of diesel, so it should be okay to start. Or at least to try to start, but the battery is flat. So before I move into the problem with the central locking and all these issues, which to be honest, I think they're going to be all related, the first thing I want to do is start the car. So the car is in a really poor state right now. A lot of people have been trying to do something with this, and it's all crappy. So hopefully I will get the engine running, I'll get the central locking, power steering, etc. sorted, and then at that point, I'll be stunned at the original problem, which was the battery draining. But for now, let's go to try to start the engine. So I'm going to put the battery on charge and try to start it, really. Okay, the battery is on charge, and just before we move on, so you don't think I make these things up, let me show you a little bit the state of this car. The cap is open, as I said. I just didn't lock it in case if I need to open it again. So yeah, the car has been off-road for some time. I believe a lot of people has been trying to have a look at this. Yeah. So the battery is in charge. The battery is on charge. Let's leave it for a couple minutes or for a little bit longer, and then we'll try to start this. Okay, so the battery is kind of I believe it's kind of ready to at least attempt. So this is a keyless one, so let's press the clutch. And see if let's see if this allows me to crank the engine. as it says. Okay, so basically the key is not okay, it's cranking. Okay, it didn't start. Okay, because either the battery is flat or something along those lines. He asked me to actually press the button with the key, so basically the coil could actually read the key. That's what I was asking for. Let's try it once again. Oops. Nah, the battery is getting... It gave a good push at the start, but now it's getting low again. Let's turn that off. Oh, shut up. Seriously? Okay. So, was not enough. As I said, if the car is... if the fuel lines are dry, because the car started to go off because of no fuel, obviously it's not going to start that quick because this is a vacuum system. There's no pump in the tanks, so the car will have to, or the fuel pump will have to literally suck the fuel all the way from the tank to the fuel pump, and that's not going to be with 1 or 2 cranks. So let me let the battery charge a little bit longer and try a few more times until I see if I can get the engine running. Let me close the door, and after a lot of attempts I managed to get the engine running. Few lights on, yes, no power steering at all. ABS light, fuel, obviously. I'm gonna have to get more fuel because otherwise this is not very good. But yeah, it's starting. Yeah, it's running, as you can see. Yes, I've used Easy Start. I had no other chance. Oh, I had no other option really. I mean, I could have other options, but yeah, with a little bit of Easy Start and a lot of attempts, I managed to get it running. Now, the first thing I want to do while I have the engine running is make sure my battery is indeed charging. I still have no central locking or anything like that. We're gonna have to go through the basics, you know, because they have been jumping starting the car. We're gonna have to go through fuses, etc, you name it. So, but the first thing I want to do is make sure the battery is actually charging. Okay, engine is running, and as you can see, my battery is not charging. Okay, had to connect my battery charger just to keep the voltage. Okay, but definitely the battery is not charging. Okay, it was a little bit noisy in there, but as you have seen, battery is not charging. I had to leave my battery charger connected, because if I don't, the battery just carry on dropping voltage, and obviously sooner or later it's going to give me troubles. So yeah, so they replaced the alternator. Don't know why, I don't know why they did it. Don't even know if they replaced a good alternator with a bad alternator, to be honest with you, or whatever they've done. So I'm gonna have to start from scratch on this, even before I move into the central locking issues and power steering and all those lights in there. But I'm going to start with the basics, guys. We're going to go through the fuses first, just in case if there's anything in there, and then we'll go forward, and then we'll move forward from there. Okay, it is a little bit noisy. I don't know how good you're going to be able to hear me, but the first cover I removed fuses, look what I found. Okay, so as you have seen, that common rail fuses, common used on Toyota, Lexus, etc., is burned right at the beginning. So yeah, that's my first problem. Don't know if that has anything to do with my battery charging. Either way, we're going to get that jumped temporarily for now, just to see what happened, and then we'll go from there. And let me show you something else. Did you guys have seen that? Who the heck does something like this? Really? Oh dear. Oh dear, 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 dear. Why? Seriously, wrap a wire around to make a... Okay, so as you've seen, that multi-fuse rail, whatever that is called, is burned at one end. You've seen those fuses with bloody wires connecting the prongs and all that stuff. Let's get everything done properly and see exactly what happened with this car, because right now, don't know. Right now, I don't know. Okay guys, and first good news is that it is burning there. Seems to control my battery charging. So I've jumped this, and as you can see, my battery is now charging. I have everything disconnected and the battery is charging. So this has something to do with my battery charging system, which is actually good. Let's gonna turn off that. And as you can see, it powers all the stuff. So my ABS light is off. My airbag light's still on, but not too worried with that yet. All these came on, as you can see. It would be great if my central locking now works. No, actually it doesn't. It's still saying key is not detected. Okay, so a problem for later, but at least we know that fuse burning there, that rail, is actually related to my battery charging system. So, I think I'm gonna have to order one, really. Take that one out, or I don't know yet how I'm gonna do this. Maybe I just put a wire around like they did on the fuses. Right, let's gonna replace those two fuses as well, and go from there. Okay, just a quick thing, the battery on the key is absolutely flat, completely flat. I was gonna need a new battery, most likely the reason why it says my key is not detected, as this is a keyless system, so we'll have to replace that battery. Okay, so the first issue is sorted, guys. I know this is not the proper way. The proper way would have been to buy this fuse block here. The guy doesn't really want to spend the money, so to do this safely, I've just put a 50 amp plate fuse in here, and that should do the job for now. So yeah, so this is sorted. Now let's gonna see if the engine still starts okay. Let's do a drain test, see if the battery is still charging, etc, etc. Okay, I had the engine off for about half an hour now. I know it's not a lot, but let's see if it starts okay. Come on. Oh, I need to get a battery for this remote. Come on, crank. Okay, started straight away. Look at that, even the airbag light has gone off. So no lights at all. I'm gonna have to get more fuel for this, but okay, let's gonna see if my battery still charging okay. Indeed, it's charging absolutely fine. Okay, and I've closed the car. I've locked the car with the mechanical key. I know I should have the hood closed to do this test, but I just want to roughly see. So 2 amps DC, let's zero it. Oh, come on, come up here. Okay, my drain, about 0.5 amp. Obviously some modules are gonna still awake. The bonnet open is not helping. It should be closed, to be honest. But we will wait a few minutes to see if this drops, because obviously it should be way less than this. Okay, and I've latched the bonnet by push that down to simulate the bonnet closed. There's no pushes anywhere. Sometimes they have those little push switch. The switch on this one is actually on the latch. Close it down. That was about 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, and I still have 0.5 amps. So I still think that's a little bit too much. I'm gonna leave a few more minutes, but it looks like this is as low as it's gonna get. So we definitely have something draining this battery by the looks of it, and we'll have to figure out what it is. Okay, and I have disconnected my alternator and start the motor. They dropped now to 0.48. Earlier was actually 0.3. It was a small click coming from somewhere, and that dropped down to that. But just to show you, I'm going to connect this cable, and you're gonna see that my drain doesn't change. So at least I know that is not my alternator taking this 0.5 amp off current. So we'll put this back on and we'll carry on from here. And actually looks like everything is actually good. So that's about right. So as I was just about to pack everything up, I heard another sort of click somewhere, and I put the clamp again, and I have 0.045, which is about right. That's about right. So it looks like it's actually everything's actually good. But I think tomorrow morning, when I get home from my night shift, I'll try to start the car and see what happens. But it looks like everything is good. Okay, and new battery on the remote, and if the remote is good and the battery is good, it's a brand new battery, I should be able to start the car now with the key in there, being a keyless. But before I do that, just let me mention that the car, so I left nights today, so I've done 2 night shifts. So today is Wednesday, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The last time I started this car was Monday. So the last time you saw the car working on this video was Monday afternoon. Yeah, Monday afternoon. Okay, so it's been off for Monday, Tuesday, so Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. So for about 48 hours that the car hasn't run. I've not even been near the car. So let's see if the car starts now. So let's see, clutch down. It looks like, hold on. Nope. It doesn't look like. Looks like the battery is already low. Yeah. So the battery is low. The battery is low. Now we can have a bad battery. So let me test the battery first. Okay, when I say the battery is low, is flat, I'm not saying the key mode, the remote, because the remote is working now. Obviously is the car battery. So I'm going to charge the battery a little bit, start the car again, see if it starts okay, and then we'll test the battery. Testing the battery the way it is, I'm going to do it just to have a quick look, but testing the battery completely discharged is not good anyway. But we will test it. Okay, and unfortunately guys, you haven't seen it, but believe me, as soon as I corrected the first time with enough battery, it started immediately. It didn't even blinked, it started straight away. So everything else is good. So at this point I would say the car is all good. Remote is working, okay, power steering is working, everything is working on the car. And it looks like just it needs a new battery. As we have seen from the clamp meter, the drain was going down to 0.04% or 0.03, which is just about right to me, to be honest with you. I've tested the battery before I put it on charge. I should have showed you that. It had 10.4 volts. So it was not even 12 volts, 10.4 volts. State of charge was on 11%. State of health, 0%. And an internal resistance of 23. So that was a little bit. This battery is rated 800 amps, and was the test gave me 102. I'm gonna leave the battery to charge now for 20 minutes or so. Make sure I charge it to a point where I can carry on restarting the engine, and then we'll test the battery. But I have a feeling that, well, this battery is gone completely. So, but yeah, I'll show you one last test, and then we're gonna wrap up this video. Guys, and just to wrap this video, just to show you that the battery, it is indeed charging. I had the car running for about half an hour or so. So let's gonna test this battery now. So replace the battery, 272. The resistance came down a little bit, but still, state of health 29%. So this battery at its stays. Let's gonna start the car again. So obviously, as I have explained you, the remote is now working fine. Okay, keyless. So all I need to do is starts okay now, but obviously the battery, it will lose its capacity until the engine no longer starts. So I'm quite confident that the problem is only to do with the battery now, and everything else has been sorted. Just one thing, I spoke with the owner of the car. He just wants to spend as minimum as possible. I do know the repair of that fuse block is probably not the way it should be done, but we did it in a way that's still protecting the system with a 50 amp fuse. I'm not sure what was the rate of the original jumper in there, the original fuse, but I would guess 50 amp is not going to be too far out, and you still have all the other fuses anyway. But yeah, I know ideally, guys, you'd replace that fuse block. We got it repaired, but yeah, so but we got there in the end. We started the car, we found the issue with the power steering, central locking, only to do with that fuse obviously, and we got the car back up and running. By the time this video go live, I will know for sure if the new battery sorted completely the problem. I'm quite convinced it does. I spoke with the guy wants to pick up the car the way it is, replace the battery later. That will be up to him. And yeah, so I will put in the description below a quick update before I actually make the live video, if the battery sorted the problem or not. If the battery doesn't sort the problem, to be honest with you, the car will come back and I'll might make another video for it. But yeah, with no further ado, guys, let's gonna wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you guys are gonna find useful. My diagnostic thinking, the repair, etc, etc. and hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put it below. And like always, thanks for watching.